Yes, sir. First off, let's do something important. Okay. Before we get going, I want to make sure I acknowledge the elected officials that are here with us today, people who have worked diligently to make this day a reality. I want to make sure that I mention Tracy Bartels, who has really been a stalwart in making sure that this came to fruition. I want to recognize Jim Maloney, Legislator Maloney out of the town of Ulster, fully understood the importance of making sure that this becomes a reality. But it's more than just two legislators, it's the entire legislature embracing this idea that people have a right, an absolute right to know where their money is being spent. So, joining with us today, Legislator Jeanette Provenzano, Legislator Hector Rodriguez, Legislator Don Gregorius, Legislator Wayne Harris. But again, it's a special thank you to the entire legislature for partnering with my administration as we deliver what we believe is a transformation in information to the taxpayers of Ulster County. What I'm going to do is do a quick review, but before I do, I also want to say this is one of those things that spans towns and counties. And so I am pleased to be joined today by the head of the Town Supervisors Association and a tremendous town supervisor from the town of Shango, my friend John Paul. Again, John, thank you so much for joining us. I think what I like about this most is, first and foremost, it talks about there's a tax decrease. Now, we're using this as a template, okay? Included in this template is the information that we have today, the proposed budget for 2013. Those may be amended as we move forward in working with the legislature, but what we have here right now is the data that we have as of this moment. So it shows a tax decrease of 0.16%. In addition, what you're seeing here on every one of these forms that will be in every single county taxpayer's bills will be the budget appropriations. Bottom line is, where's the money going? The taxpayer has a right to know where the money's going. When they talk about this breaks out many of the largest areas of where the dollars are going within, again, the county budget. The estimated revenues. Where does the county's money come from? And it's a very fair question for a taxpayer to say, what does this budget look like? Where are you spending the money, and where is the money coming from? So they understand their portion of this as well. And then it talks about things like state mandates. We've cleared a threshold that no one should be pleased with. More than 100% of all the property taxes taken in Ulster County now go to fund state mandated programs. More than 100%. The mandate math that is going on in Albany simply doesn't work. And what we are showing here should be a wake-up call for state representatives everywhere. The state legislature must embrace the idea of fundamental mandate relief, because what we show here are just some of the selected mandates and what's been done, the escalation, and where we're in the areas that we're able to control, where those cuts are being made. And then a full breakdown here, including what we show here, is the takeover of the first third of the safety net expenses for the towns in the city of Kingston. This is a breakdown, again, of the impact of mandates on our community. I think it's important also to understand that as we have worked through this budget process, this will highlight the fact that there's a tax decrease going on, and not the 66% tax increase that would have occurred cumulatively over the last 3 years had we not made the difficult decisions as an executive and as a legislature combining to make sure that we protect taxpayers. Sound effects too? That's pretty sweet.
What percentage of the budget is that?
0. I also want to highlight in that process that my office fully embraces. Not only are we saving money on office space, because we're double utilizing this now as for the press conference, the truth of the matter is there's been a 20% reduction in the executive's office expenditures from 2009 to today. We are leading by example. The county's getting smaller, the executive's offices are getting smaller. We've cut 3 $1.6 million out of the budget this year. That's allowed us to do some things that are critically important. And again, I showed what will be highlighted on this, $1.7 million. $1.7 million to the towns and the city of Kingston to absorb the first third of the safety net expense. But we made the difficult decisions internally with the county to reduce spending so that it doesn't harm those ad valorem communities. We did the hard stuff. We did the hard stuff, and we look forward to working with the legislature to make sure that we reshape county government so that it can be sustainable into the future. Under this new law, we're also, again, this is a template that has been designed for the county tax bill. We're going to be working with the towns. We've now had discussions with the Town Supervisors Association, and we look forward to working with a special committee to be able to design a template that can be used across all the towns. So a taxpayer will know where their money is being spent and where the money is coming in, regardless if it's at the county or town level. They're going to be well informed, and they have a right to know. By the way, on the town one, no one is going to be more excited than I am, because it's going to show the $1.7 million in relief to the towns and the city of Kingston, and it's my great hope that they're able to utilize a large portion of that to protect the taxpayers or to cut taxes in their communities. The bottom line is we all want well-informed taxpayers. This is really going to be also really a 2-for-1 for everybody, because we got some exciting news last night at 5 o'clock. And that is that Standard & Poor's has reaffirmed our AA minus, our really strong bond rating, and I could not be more proud, and every single person as an elected official here should be proud. We've all played a critical role of working together to be able to ensure Ulster County's bond rating remains so strong. We've made the difficult decisions, and it highlights that. They discussed that what were the new concepts, the innovative things like Strive. And they talk about how important those kinds of things are. It's proof positive that what we are doing together is working. What we're doing in reshaping the government to be sustainable is working. I cannot tell you how monumental this moment is, even though it can sometimes seem so technical. The truth of the matter is right now, going from a bill, a simple bill in the mail that is extremely difficult unless you are an expert to be able to distinguish where your money's going, or whether you're able to identify in a 500-page document where the money came from. This puts it in a very straightforward process that allows people to know where the money's coming from and where their dollars are being spent, because they have a right to know. And like I said, none of this is done by any individual. It's a group of people coming together saying it's time to change county government, it's time to make things better. One of the people who was at the forefront of this is Legislator Tracy Bartels, and I'll ask her to come step forward and say a few words. Tracy?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm thrilled to have been involved in this legislation, and I'm very excited to see it implemented by the Executive's Office. I look forward to all the positive feedback that I'm sure we're going to get from the taxpayers, finally getting to see in more detail where all their money is being spent. I think it did a fabulous job, and I thank all my fellow legislators for all their hard work. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Again, this reaches across party lines. It cuts across so many different boundaries, because it really cuts to the heart of what we're supposed to be as a government, delivering essential services and explaining to the citizens where their money is going. So we do it in the most efficient way, but we have an obligation to explain how and where it gets spent. Someone who that was absolutely critically important to is Legislator Jim Maloney, who actually played a critical role in this as well. Jim, please.
Thank you, Mike. And I'd like to thank Tracy also for a very, very good job well done. Tracy, we couldn't have done it without you. As the executive has said, I think this is a very proud day for Ulster County, the legislature, the county executive's office, and all of the residents of the county. In these hard times, it is extremely important that every taxpayer has transparency and clarity as to where their tax dollars go. And today I stand here very proud to be in Ulster County Legislature with this coming to fruition. And I want to thank the legislators and the executive standing behind me.
Thank you very much. Okay, guys, at this point, I'd like to open it up for questions and answers. Anybody has an issue, question, please don't hesitate. If they're really hard, ask the legislature. If it's easy, don't hesitate to ask me.
The town of Ulster wants to have their tax bills included with the safety net broken out specifically, so the individual knows how much is going towards safety net. This does not necessarily seem to address it, but you seem
There's
to
two-
allude to it.
There's two separate things going on here. First and foremost is the county's tax bill explanation fact sheet, if you will. Okay, that will show the part of the safety net expense that the county is absorbing in detail. Okay, so that's going to be available. In addition to that, we're going to be working with the Town Supervisors Association to ensure that there's a template, so that there is consistency across the towns, to make sure that a taxpayer, regardless of where they are, gets a level of information and a level of detail that's useful to them. So again, I look forward to working with the committee that the Town Supervisors Association brings forward to make this a reality.
How long do you think that'll take?
Well, when our meeting is when, guys?
We're trying to schedule it right now, Mike.
Okay.
Hopefully next week.
So we'll have it next week.
So this
We'll
will
have
be,
well, to be sure we're clear, we'll have the meeting next week. I can't tell you.
so this would be so that the individual taxpayer would be able to see how much of their own taxes go towards safety net.
Since I don't control, exactly, since it doesn't, since we don't control what happens at the town level, we're in a situation where we're gonna work obviously collaboratively with the towns to be able to identify what this new, template looks like. At the county level, we've been able to move very swiftly in this process, and because of that, this is going to be in the 2013 tax bills.
And this doesn't give the individual taxpayer how much of their own tax bill is going towards each of these.
Again, everyone can be, I encourage you to talk to the folks back here, the technical people, about exactly what this tells you about your tax bill. It'll tell you what your tax bill is, and it'll obviously talk to you about the bigger picture about the county property taxes.
Is this also gonna be on the county website, all this information?
Not only is this on the county website, there will be, again, we encourage people, and again, I know it's small here, but the truth is, we encourage everyone to go to the ulstercountyny.gov/budget. That's a critical piece. There's an enormous amount of information available there. The county executive's website as well has the budget presentation, so if someone wants any details associated with that, we don't hesitate to have them go see that as well.
Mike?
Please, John.
Each town will be able to individually put their own fact sheet in?
Again, we're hoping that there will be, again, to have some sort of uniformity. It's my great hope that there will be a consistent template across the board, and that we'll be able to work with the town supervisors to identify what that
Town
looks
of
like.
Ulster fact sheet got in the town of Shango tax bills.
I think we're gonna be able to make sure that we're clear on what town is
Pass that
what. But again, the important thing
Expect
is
the
to make
phone
sure
call
there
later
is
on.
the level of uniformity is very valuable for taxpayers, especially taxpayers who may own properties in multiple jurisdictions. That's an important concept to understand. There are people that should have some level of continuity across the board, and that's what we're hopeful for in this situation. Yet this is kind of good government at its best. This is governments coming together, simply saying more information in a digestible form is a better thing. We're here to make sure that government isn't this mysterious entity, but that we're providing services in the most efficient way possible, that we're responding to an environment that's not simple. We understand these are changing, challenging times, and that we're able to deal with that while simultaneously providing more information so people know exactly where their hard-earned tax dollars are going. Thank you very much.